So here, I almost finished this one last night, and also when I have a deck that's doing this well, I like to finish it on air to legitimize it. You know, I have my spreadsheet where I track my results, and a lot of my results are off air. Not most of them. I mostly play on air, but I always feel like I try to prove it when I do well off air. But let's take a look at this deck and see if we can't find a 7 win for the paid account. Look! It looks very similar to what we just did, except this is a little better. We have the Skittering Surveyor that allowed us to actually run this Tatiova Splash that we couldn't in the last deck. We have the same Urgoros. We have the same Double Snapper, single Cloud Reader. We are down on card draw, but we do have Weight of Memory. And other than that, yeah, it's a super similar deck. And that just goes to show. I mean, that's why I was hoping for 4 wins out of the other one. You know, why did this deck go 6-1 and the other one 1-3? I don't know. But let's try to get a 7th win here on this one. I'll adjust the record and stuff, though. This is a... Oh, did the record... Oh, it's because on login screen. That's why. Let's go to Battlefield. That will shore things up. All right. Nice, very keepable. A little weak to random Boros Rush, but we're in the 6-1. We're in the 6-1 bracket, so I'm expecting to face Sultai decks of some stripe, or at least blue or black. I've said I always want to be blue or black in the format because of the 2 colors with card draw, and card draw is so important to executing your late game plan of victory that I really have a tough time in this format if I don't have black or blue to draw me cards. Well, 6-1 bracket, and we're looking like we might be facing the aggro approach, but I just have so little respect for both of these creatures. They both just do so little. I mean, they're not bad against us on the slow start, but then... What are they doing? Splashy? We're going to drop Thallid here. Have some Thallid. Let's see, do we have... Looking at our deck, we do have a fungal infection, but that's not quite the -2/-2 that takes out the Sanctum Spirit. We'll play Surveyor and go get our splash. If they send in the Spirit, I'm going to block. I don't mind making them pitch an Historic spell from their hand to be able to not lose the Spirit. Card draw Wars. See, this is where people are like, hey, look, it's scryed twice. See, it's fine. It's not fine. You have to draw it in that order. You have to have the Historic spell. You're playing bad stuff to make bad stuff not bad. It's just all not great. Eviscerate, nice to show up, makes me feel better. We're going to try and manage the board through Cloud Reader. But if we get desperate, we can eviscerate even this stupid assistant if we need to. Hey, Tatyova, how you doing? Played the wrong land, though. Really dumb land play. Wow. Now we're down a card on Tatyova. You can give me a even I would that's a suboptimal, but I'd call it a punt. You gotta plan for your Tatyovas better than I did right there. Because if I just simply played a forest, we'd be drawing Tatyova, playing it, and playing an island instead and drawing off of it. Two Divinations from Oppo is a good way for a deck with some underwhelming cards to find its way. Alright, I really want to win this one. I do not respect the creatures I'm seeing across the battlefield except for Skitters and to an extent the Spirit. We are going to wait though on Tatyova. Really want to try and Tatyova when you can ensure that she gets off one of her activated ability. They don't seem to be able to attack into the Sphinx, though, and they don't have counter magic up or anything, so I'm going to drop the Snapper, and then it just kind of holds the ground for the rest of the for the rest of the game. I'll take that, Dionysus. A punt a day seems like a solid rate. Magic is hard. Yeah, the thing is I punt more than once a day. It doesn't actually get necessarily registered as such. Magic is hard. That's why we play. It continues to challenge year after year. All right, what does this thing do now? Alright, their artifacts become 5/5s. So we have a one big artifact turn that we have to manage. I'm not a pro, Dionysus. I have one pro point. All right, well, that certainly suggests they do not have the thing in hand to pitch to it, so we're going to eviscerate the Spirit next turn and manage the eventual turn where we face a bunch of 5/5s. Then if we survive that, I think we go on to win. Question here is whether we bother chumping here, or we just take the hit for 5. I suppose it doesn't matter whether we're chumping this or chumping one of the resulting 5/5s from this, so let's get some more information before we chump. And we'll just take this. Too bad we don't have one more mana so that we can eviscerate and have the unwind. But we don't, so I'm just going to try the eviscerate, see if it holds up. I feel like they've played it out. Maybe they held something back and we're trading an eviscerate for a card to pitch. All right, we were. That's too bad, but we effectively eviscerated a Wrath, which isn't bad, and we still have a block on the Sanctum Spirit. No, I don't think Deckmaster's working for anyone. Just wish we had the unwind up here. Well, Oppo has built a terrible deck around one card that makes their terrible cards good, I think. This is a terrible card. This is a terrible card. This is a terrible card. This is a great card. This is a terrible card. Oppo's deck is filled with terrible cards that they're making good sometimes through Antiquities War, and I just don't think that's a great strategy. However, it's beaten us. Can't deny that. To the point that I think I snapper it here and make him discard again. No, I want to make him discard, I think, because they got to discard this construct, because if they can play the construct, then they get to add a 5/5 to the board next turn and double trigger Scry. So the other thing we could do is, I guess, actually let's put these two on rather than the snapper. I like the play, but we should do it with these cards. This will make another chump for the explosive turn from the war. Oh my god. Like, it's junk. It's all junk, except this makes it reasonable. So I don't recommend this. Again, this is the equivalent of losing to auras. If we lose this, it's like I gotta let it go because we beat this so often. Like, this is just a devastatingly bad deck unless they specifically draw the Antiquities War. But we need some defense. Do these fall off and become 5/5s? I wasn't going to Tatyova this turn. I think she's how we potentially come back from this. So I'm going to go Urgoros, actually, as our play this turn. Although maybe I should have just held the land for Tatyova, but... Alright, you played one good card, Oppo. One good card and one build-around. Wow. Alright, I'm definitely a little salty about that one. I think that deck is garbage. That is a garbage deck. And Oppo, if you show up to my stream, I hope you don't take that as too much of an insult, but I find strategies that put all of your eggs in that one single basket to be incredibly unreliable, and I'm really surprised that you were playing in the 6-win bracket. Yeah, but it's even one event is not enough of a data point. We also don't know what their record is. They could have been 3-0 or something like that. They could have been 3-1. It's possible. That's also always possible, Burrito. The part of their deck that we didn't see was better or something, but it seemed like they were all in on that strategy, and it's just like, boy, you don't resolve that saga, and you were just done with that deck. Do not recommend taking that approach. I think you're making a huge mistake to build around that card. Yeah, all of this is based on what I saw and some presumptions I'm making. But I would also expect that you would have to get pretty deep into building around your first Antiquities before you're tending to get your second. Unless you went like Antiquities 3rd and 5th pick or something. I get it, Guru. I'm going to be salty. You all can try and justify Oppo's crappy-looking deck, but I'm going to go ahead and be salty about it. No, I'm never going to end up with, like, never. Just never. Because I don't see the that saga as good enough to build around. So if I saw that early, I would say, nope, not gonna try and build around that, because all of the artifacts in this format are terrible. So to build around that card, I have to run a bunch of terrible cards. And so I'm never gonna end up there, because it just simply requires you to go all in on terrible cards. Results-based thinking from yesterday. Not sure how that's results-based thinking from yesterday. You have to elaborate on that thought. Minch. And if I were being results-based about what we just experienced, I'd be talking about how awesome the artifact deck is and how I clearly need to start drafting it. Are you suggesting there are, in fact, some artifacts that are not garbage? If that was your brother, Dionysus, then great. I get to turn the screws on you a little bit. And again, I don't think Oppo is a bad person. I just think Oppo had a very high variance strategy that I would not recommend in draft. That's all. Are you trying to name the actually good artifacts in the set? Helm? You know, most are rare, though. Is there any good common artifact? The Jousting Lance can be good. Skittering Surveyor is good, which I acknowledged. Yeah, you never see people play the Skeleton because it's not very good. A lot of 1/3s running around that make it look silly, and it's awfully tough to hold up 3 mana. Soothsayer, also not a big concern. We're just going to pass here. We don't need to eviscerate anything. Maybe they'll give us something to eviscerate next turn, because we don't want to Tatiova. Again, we want to Tatiova on 6 and play a 6th land. That's our plan with her. I was talking trash about Yargle during our draft today, and I do think he's not great. I'm not happy to be running a Yargle. We want better cards than this. We just don't have them. And at least he slots in here. I see what you're saying, Ubermensch. Yeah. That's why I didn't understand it, I guess. It wasn't meant for me. It does make opponents panic, though. So it has that lightning rod thing going for it. Yeah, Lich's Mastery would be a fun deck to build around if we have... I mean, the Yargle's not unplayable. Here he is in my deck. It's just that generally he's below your 6-drop beef in the format. I'd rather just have one of the many beefy 6-drops. Well, that commander is going to eat a cast down. And we're not going to play our land. We're going to skip our land, drop this turn, and eviscerate, and... Now, I guess we just cast... Well, that does leave some mana, so let's eviscerate Siege Gang. Trouble is that this is universe... Like, this gets anything, including legends. This does not get legends. If they drop a legend, I'll really wish I had kept the eviscerate. But we can go eviscerate, divest here, and keep our whole hand. Let's divest for starters, and then that might answer our little question here. Whoa. Whoa. All right, then. This way. Oppo sad. Lost both commanders. Yeah, Soul Salvage seems like a no-brainer here. I would expect Oppo to have them, but we gotta do what we can do. We could attack with Yargle, and what would happen? If we attack with Yargle, they put probably just the 3 tokens in front, which I actually wouldn't even mind. That'd be okay. So I'm going to attack with Yargle. Oh yeah, we knew they had that, but this is okay. I'm even willing to trade for any, just 2 of their tokens. Just get them to use their stuff, and then this stuff becomes a little more threatening. We don't have any fun tricks to make Yargle, like, flying or something like that. So Yargle's just kind of there to scare Oppo and get some of those trades. That's fine. Well, we'll see what Oppo's doing with their green. Elfame Druid. Looks like they're just trying to power out a lot of kicker stuff. This deck probably has the deal 5 for 3 mana removal spell that when kicked allows you to deal 10 anywhere you want. We're going to take a hit from the Gorger here to drop Tetyova and get an activation. Now if we can untap, we get Snapper down. And we're looking good. They've got to draw something to turn the advantage back towards them. Soothsayer, drawing cards is nice though, gotta admit. Might have to find a way to deal with that Soothsayer, because drawing 3 cards off of these tokens is not bad game. No blocks. So we've got 7 mana plus an extra for sorcery. So we can actually get the Snapper down and hold up Cast Down. We have to choose between Cast Down and Syncopate, though. And I think we want to actually cast down this Soothsayer before it gets any more value. It's going to get 1 of these tokens at end of turn. And then I think we want to turn off that access to card value that Oppo is showing here. So I'm going to play Snapper to hold off that Gorger. And we'll let him go to end of... Well... Now, I'm just going to do it now. Doesn't even really matter. They're going to get their activation off anyway. So let's do this, right? Just do this now. I guess the one reason to wait is that it would have made them lose a token and... the Soothsayer, I guess that's a thing, but I didn't want... what I didn't want to do is pass... Hey, thank you for that sub, F9er. I didn't want to pass to my end of turn and have them decline to do anything and then untap to their turn. So to avoid them untapping and having access to all those sacrifices, I decided to act first. Yeah, Evolving Wilds, that's what I was talking about, but that was my thinking. It wasn't without thought. It was not wanting to get put in that spot, even though they were highly, highly likely to go ahead and make that sacrifice. Did I hurt your all feelings with my my saltiness on on that previous match? People are still here trying to defend my previous opponent's deck choices with why they might have done it. There's a million reasons that a good player might end up with a deck like that. Well, not a million, but you know, yes. I'm not slamming Oppo, but I am slamming that deck choice as a competitive concern. Well, now it's super important that we got rid of that stupid soothsayer. But how... we gotta find our own win condition here. Still nothing to worry about yet. We'll just drop another snapper and have Syncopate ready. Don't worry, it sounds like your brother's got all of chat defending their choices. All right, we're looking for Urgaros here. Cloud Reader, Sphinx, and Urgaros will get us there if we can find them. Yeah, Fight with Fire is what I was talking about. Fight with Fire is the spell that, when kicked, just wrecks the game. We also need this decks like this, especially in this bracket, will have something like Josu, so we could expect a kicked Josu. Gotta find something, though. The longer we play with Tatyova in play, the better our chances get. Okay, there's one of our flyers that can get us there. Let's try that. And a soul salvage, great. Thing is, we even want our lands with Tatyova. So I'm going to leave the land on top. Then the question is if we want Deathbloom. And I don't think we do here. We're looking for Urgaros, so we don't want to accept Deathbloom when we're trying to find Urgaros. If they kill Tatyova, we're sad about the land on top, but we're going to take that risk. Also, we have Soul Salvage to get her back anyway. Yeah, good call, Danny. Or Dan V. Oppo seems to be counting their land, and given that they're at 9, again, I suspect Josu. That's my bet. That's my bet. I bet we face Josu at some point. Thorn Elemental. Well, we're going to let that resolve, and we're going to eviscerate it. Saving the Syncopate for, again, the crazy kick spell that could doom us to a loss. That's pretty greedy, Draconis, I think, to attack with a Cold Water and hope that they do something that lets us get a good fungal off. I'd rather just let them... I'd rather just attack with the Sphinx until they're dead. How about that? It just that requires, I think, too much. We're putting too much expectation on Oppo to do what we want them to do. I think they're just gonna... I would just chump and be happy about it if I were Oppo. So I'm not gonna play into that. Yeah, we might do that. With the second Soul Salvage, I'm down with that. We'll leave the Eviscerate, and we'll just go ahead and double block the Elemental. and we can soul salvage a snapper back. The snappers are great, though. As you can see, they're just holding off. Look at what they're holding off over there. Making sure they don't have reach or something that I'm not looking at. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try that. I think with the double soul salvage, we can try it that way. Maybe, but I think we kind of expected that, and if they are on Josu, they were like, well, I need that land in play anyway, although they could have waited. So it didn't get anything, it's just a 4/4. We could even, let's do it this way. Block like this. Oh wait, don't need to do that, do we? We're at 8 total, so don't even need to use the fungal infection. Argument for not even worrying about Tachova. But let's make sure we're protected against the big kicker. Not for quite a bit. I mean, if they were playing blue and they could do something to mill us, maybe that would be a concern. But the idea that this game is gonna take more than 7 turns from here seems like I don't think that's true. Especially since eventually we draw an even better air force in Urgros. And let's see, if we do 1, 2, 3, get Tachova back, and then cast her for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 mana left, and we play the island for 4 total, which is a syncopate of 3, which is enough for 11, which is enough to counter both Fight with Fire and Josu, if that's what they do next turn, so that we can, in fact, do this play. I was just counting it out to make sure we had everything we needed. I guess, let's see, the other thing, I mean, we could hold off and not actually play Tachova if we want to be conservative. Another thing to worry about is the kicked +1, 2+1/+1 counters on everything. That might be enough to get around us, and we could not syncopate that on 11. But then they have to have a land and that. I think it's pretty unlikely. Oh, no, they're going to do... Okay, so they have 11 lands. Yeah, Wild Onslaught may be worth playing around here. But now they're showing us they're top-decking too. I find it hard to justify specifically playing around a top-decked Wild Onslaught, because we even survive that, and then what are they gonna do, attack us with everything? We block a bunch and survive and come back the other way and win? I think this is safe. Hey, we even got a retort. Now we can counter anything. Watch it be kicked Wild Onslaught. That'd be funny. I'd go buy a lottery ticket. Well, they're looking in their graveyard. Suggests maybe they've got a soul salvage. But we're going to counter that. Oh. Shuffling 2 Siege Gang commanders into a 12-card library when we don't quite have the pressure on top that I'm hoping for, I'm actually going to retort that. Tekken doesn't want to do that. Counter when they cast it. We could do that. But it puts 2 back in the library. And it does give them a way to, like, stop our Sphinx. I'm going to counter it. What are you thinking about, Oppo? Whether or not to scoop? I mean, okay. Maybe they're taking a moment to flip a table? Could be. I wouldn't know. I never tilt. Yeah, I played a bunch of Pauper. I really enjoyed it, actually. More than I thought I would. I think part of why I like Pauper so much is that, I think I mentioned this yesterday, it was not a solved format, and not a format that... Standard Pauper isn't a format like the entire Magic community is trying to break publicly or whatever, and so I like my Johnny Timmy deck building tendencies are brought out by a format like that, where it's like, oh, nobody knows really what's going on here. Let's figure out how to attack it. Yeah, exactly. Hard to net deck, so it got me engaged as a deck builder. And in fact, if we win via rope here, thanks, Stay Classy Dragoon 7. You're a rock star. Oh, you're gonna, what is this? Are you just trying? Now they're just trying to be extra ropey about it. Okay, buddy. I don't know why you need this in your life, but if this is making life better for you, you got it. We at Going Optimal are here for you to tilt your way through the end of this game. We're chatting anyway. We got whatever. You take as long as you want, Oppo. So my thought process in attacking a format like Pauper was, okay, well, what's absent from this format given the Pauper rules? And the obvious answer is sweepers. There is Cosmotronic Wave and Metaphysic Vapors, but those are effectively the only sweepers at common, and those are only for 1 toughness creatures. So the strategy I went with that worked really well was, okay, people aren't going to be playing sweepers, but they do need to control creatures, so they're going to be playing a lot of the, the lightning spell as well, and I did see some of that. They're going to be playing a lot of spot removal, and they're not going to be able to deal with a horde of tokens. So I just went all in on black-red, go wide, thunder tokens. Dragoon 7 is our... Here, I can go to, like... I mean, I'm going to hope Dragoon here is, like, 13. Or maybe they're even, like, they're like, under, like, 21, 22. If you're around that age, then my expectations of your class are pretty low, but I hope that you turn it around. If Dragoon here is like 36, that's a sad human right there. Yeah, you get salty. I'm 47 and I get salty, but do you rope your opponents when you're salty? You're like, I'm going to make you suffer because I lost a Magic game? Like, come on. It's just kind of sad. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we can syncopate it. So we're gonna syncopate for 4. We need to syncopate for 8. Let's do it for 9 just to be sure. Heck, we'll do it for 10. I'm countering this because it's exile. If it were just destroy, I'd probably let it happen. Yeah, maybe my bar, maybe my line at 20, 21 is too low, and it's like, but when you hit your mid-20s, grow up, man. Come on, grow up. 10 cards to their 11. So if we cast Wait, I guess we don't even cast Wait. We just... Well, let's see. We draw 3, and they mill 3. Maybe you could, but you can't really report somebody for using their rope. I mean, they're just... It's their clock. Yeah, I like it. Let's build out the board with a Yargle. Although, yeah, we don't have counters anymore, so let's Yargle it and just hang tight. I was on the inside, and reporting people on Magic Online mattered. People on Magic Online were disciplined for their behavior, not necessarily for the thing you reported it for. But the thing reporting players did on Magic Online was build a dossier against that player, and so when they get their repeat offenses, then they get really disciplined, and so keep that in mind. All right, so now at least we get to salvage that back. Nine. I'm going to go ahead and play the island first. Maybe we just find Urgaros. Yeah, I guess we do only have the one. We could send in Yargle and get Yargle back. But then can we cast everything? 5, 6, 11, 13. Salvage makes for 10. And then Sphinx and Yargle can both be cast. Then we're just we're shields down on Befuddle or Fungal Infection, which seems okay. So yeah, we can send a Yargle. You can even send in a Snapper, I suppose. I just love them back here, though, doing what they're doing. I don't feel the need. I mean, they have to block, that's true. And they kind of have to stay back. I'm going to leave this all back, though. How about that? Getting got with Divest is the worst feeling in Dom. Well, after today, Tenno, I'm going to say getting kicked Skin-Witched 3 times in one game and still hanging on and being in it, but still not quite getting there is the worst feeling in Dominaria. All right, let's put this here. This here. And we're going to befuddle something. Oh, we can befuddle and infect, actually, if we want to really mess with stuff. Like we take, we infect here. We befuddle the Gorger. And now maybe Oppo just scoops, or do we just get 3 straight ropes here? Huh. That looks like a different board. I think we may have this one, although if they draw Josu and kick him, even then I think we probably still have it, but we'll see. Do we want an unwind? I suppose an unwind is not a bad draw next turn, and we have plenty of land, so we can draw it off the lands we have. We don't need to leave land on top. Nine to 7. Whee! Exploding Planeswalker. All right, we got one. I guess we got one win on the other deck, too. All right. 7 win for empty Sultai. Not bad. Open some packs.